car before, but I don't do it often at all. Like,
That's interesting. So how do you make sure the card is ready to go? Because the thing, I guess you could.
Swing your mic around, Willis, because I think it's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good hot mic to take.
So I'm imagining that you just dump the files and then
once the client has everything and I've moved it to an external,
You just hit delete.
you just delete it from the
go
card
through,
itself.
I have the card on the camera and I'll delete the folder.
But what-
I never format the card.
I had instances where the card, let's say, was a 128 gig,
Yeah.
and I deleted the stuff, and you don't format it. Whatever was already taken up, that's still taken up unless you format back to scratch.
Okay.
So, but I mean, if you haven't had it,
Nah, I
then
appreciate it. You gonna mess around and jinx me, but I'm gonna get on that, I guess, because
well, no, if it's been working for you, then you don't need to.
I mean, I've heard it before.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Format when you work with me, yo. Don't you format?
So what? Format the card before we start a wedding, or before we start an event.
Have a fresh card.
Yes.
All the cards are fresh. I got
If I shoot a wedding, I use a brand new card.
Oh, you saying it like I've never had anything happen. So
The Lord willing, that's
yeah,
the
all right, so you saying
Right,
God,
now,
let me
I also
God be
would
with
shoot
you.
dual card slot
yeah,
we all
yeah,
do.
same,
You
same,
always.
yes.
until I guess the spring broke in my second slot. So now I'm shooting single.
Yeah,
You gonna
shooting
send it
a
up to
single
Sony
card.
or no?
And I'm hoping I'm gonna talk to somebody at imaging or whatever event that I'm going to. But I guess they just gonna be like, hey, send it and
No, if you're a Sony,
Sony Pro.
you use Sony Pro, they'll
Yeah.
send you a what you call it, a body until they fix it.
All right. Well,
Oh, what's a Sony Pro, bro?
yeah.
So
I've
like
been
you have
shooting
to
Sony
have.
since 2017. I don't know
Sony-
anything about Sony Pro.
Sony cousin.
Yeah,
Shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Two
I love
cameras.
Fuji and Canon and all that,
Okay.
but you know,
no.
Sony for everything else.
No, only Sony.
But yeah, it's Sony Pro support.
Okay.
I actually was a member a while ago, and then I just never used it. So it was kind of like
Gotcha.
paying for the service.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you send a lens out or send your camera.
Yeah.
They'll send you a replacement. Now I know years ago they wanted you to have two bodies and
Yeah.
actual what was it, like 2G lenses or
Yeah, he has to have like two Sony lenses and two bodies.
It
or
was a
whatever.
requirement
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
a part of
yeah,
the.
yeah.
So-
You can't
like
be fake.
to,
You can't be fugazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be
Now
real.
they
Okay.
also were like, if you have a site with reputable images and stuff like that, like you're good. But I had hesitated on even applying for a while because I only was rocking with one body. Now I have a couple, so
Yeah.
Ooh, flex.
that's not a flex when
Flex.
you got
That was a flex.
the top of the line stuff on the way.
Man, listen. the Lord is in the blessing business. But welcome to Small Business Sundays, where we take a moment to highlight small business individuals who are doing amazing things. Kevin?
All right, so I typically ask, how do you pronounce your last name? Because I don't want to mess it up. So it's
Yeah.
Willis
Aybar.
and he is a fellow studio owner. I'm happy to have another studio owner in here because this is a completely new experience for me. So if you could go ahead, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about who you are real quick.
Yeah. First and foremost, thank you guys for having me, and bless your space, because I was just talking to y'all about this a few moments ago. Like, I just went through the hurdles 2+ years into my space, and the learnings, the experience, the headaches, all the things. Like, salute to anybody who wants to actually come on this journey and like take this approach, because it's a lot. And what's beautiful is that you guys basically did it alone. I had my support system, but I didn't have nobody like in the trenches behind that screen every day figuring out marketing and pricing and like SEO and all the other things. So, but my name is Willis Aybar, as Kevin just said, and I am the owner of Studio 87, and proud to say the top-rated intimate event space in Baltimore. Like, we literally have
Talk that
surpassed
stuff.
every other space.
Talk that stuff.
And I've been a photographer for over 15 years. That's how Studio 87 got started. The camera got me here. And now I am also the owner of Another Monday content marketing agency. So the camera got me here, but it won't get me there. And that is the next chapter in my journey. So
Fire, fire,
Yeah.
fire. I was gonna say, I saw the inquiry come through, and I'm like, what is Another Monday? Like, I was like trying to figure it out. So I'm happy you just jumped out there. You can talk a quick minute about
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
is?
100%. So this, when I say the camera got me here, but it won't get me there, is because the camera got me to open Studio 87.
Right.
Shooting weddings and events and all of that. Like the funds that came in from that, I was able to take that money and then invest and go to the studio, which was, as you experienced, the next organic route. Right. The next step up is like, oh, now I need my own studio. My friend Katie had opened their studio. My friend Amy opened the studio. So I got some inspiration. I got to visit these spaces and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But I was already like renting so many other studios during that time. But when I opened up the studio, I realized that we're in Dundalk. I needed a space with a parking lot. So shouts to y'all for having one too. Because not all no spaces do.
Listen, I hate not having a parking lot. I remember I was so happy when Jeff moved
Oh,
from Skyloft on Bay
'Cause there was no
Street.
parking on that
there
other-
was no
yeah.
parking.
Yeah.
Questionable individuals rolling up on you every
Yeah,
chance you get. Like, it was
100%.
crazy. But nah, go ahead.
So we have that, but there was no walking traffic, which is the same issue you guys are gonna have, right? Like you're not gonna have like street visibility. Even the cars driving by, like they may bat an eye, but they're not gonna go, oh, what's that? And then go in there. Right. So I had to step my marketing game up. So that's when I said, hey, what is the next best option? It's gonna be SEO. There's gonna be no other way around. I need to show up in search results for XYZ. I need to show up. And I started with SEO, and SEO was always the number 2 lead generator for us. Like social media was number 1, SEO was number 2, advertisement was number 3, and word of mouth and referrals was like 4 or 5, et cetera, et cetera. So I got so good at SEO. We outrank everyone in photo booths. Like if you're in Baltimore, any point, you literally just type in photo booth, whatever, and we're literally going to be the first one that pop up.
Talk that stuff because Kev got photo booths too. So go.
We could talk because I'm dissolving that business too. So there's a lot of copy that's worth a decent amount of money according to SEO tools that. For the organic traffic. Yeah. So I'm in talks right now to actually sell the photo booth to some folks. So I'm gonna it's a lot of logistical stuff there. Anyways, but Another Monday, I love Mondays, bro. I love Mondays because everyone else hates them. And that's the first reason I love Mondays. Everyone loves Fridays. People live for the weekend. I live for the hustle. So like for me, it's like Monday's that day. Monday's admin day. I gotta run payroll on Monday. I gotta pay all these people. I gotta pay myself. I gotta pay the bills. I gotta send out emails. You know what I mean? You come back from the weekend and it's like back to business. So I love Mondays for that reason. And I've been loving Mondays, so no days off. And then it just happened that there was no other domain names available. So by some way of like through the marketing search, I figured out, okay, well, Another Monday is gonna be my name, like and then we just went with it. But I also believe that almost every day is a Monday. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have necessary days off, right? No, so y'all feel it right now, right? Yeah, every day is Monday. You got to get up, you got to go get it, and if you don't, it might just be Saturday for you.
You're gonna have your lunch, yeah.
Right? Exactly. So.
Dang.
Yes.
You talking to me right now. I'm happy with this talk already.
My man.
Talk to me a little bit about like event space. Like, you transitioned, doing photography, doing weddings and stuff. You saw your friends open up a space. Like, talk to me about the first time you sat and negotiated your lease and then went and got the space. And the space that you had, was that the first space, the only space that you saw, or talk about that process?
Hey, shouts to Ray Gomez. I'm pretty sure he's going to tune in. My friend Ray, man, he's a real estate agent and a real estate investor, and he's never done never did a commercial lease before. But obviously, like when you're doing something like this, you go to the closest person to you that can help you navigate the journey. So Ray, I just jumped on. I was like, bro, this was in July. I was like, yo, bro, I have this idea. And by the way, it came from Earn Your Leisure. So if y'all familiar with Earn Your Leisure, Nehemiah Davis, I literally was watching his video on Event Spaces, and I bought the course. I paid $2K for the course. I took the course on the weekend, and I'm an action guy. Like, I'm from Brooklyn. We move fast. So I just saw the thing. I was like, boom, paid it. And once that $2,000 was paid and I had access to the course and I took it, I was in. I had no choice. I got to make this money back somehow.
Gotta make it
I ain't spending 2K to just spend the 2K. So I immediately contacted Ray. I told him what the idea was. I didn't know the first thing about looking for a space. Right now, you go on the event space groups, Facebook groups, you'll see everyone's asking, like, I don't know what the first thing to do is. And honestly, like, the first thing to do is just go to spaces. Like, this, if you're looking for a space, go to spaces. I went to Studio 87 was the first location I stepped foot inside. I stepped foot into over 35 spaces physically. And who knows how many more I actually looked at online. Right. But I went and I stopped when I drove wherever. I just stopped, hopped out, looked, made appointments, went inside so many different spaces. But I knew from the moment we walked in, Ray was like, sometimes it's just your first one. And it just so happened that that's exactly how it worked out. So them folks, and shouts to my landlords, I love them. They super cool. We developed a great relationship. I actually just bought a house from him too. So all relationship based. So they did not want an event space there. So as folks are looking to do an event space, you can't lead with the word event space because folks automatically think party going crazy, getting ratchet, whatever. So I couldn't lead with that. And they almost turned me down entirely, but I'm a photographer and I needed a photo studio. So I led with that. And I sort of merged both worlds. As soon as I started uploading photos of the space and what we did in there and the colors, and I mean, it's just a white box, right? Like, essentially, it's literally just a white box. Simple as that. It's all about what you do with it, though, right? Facts. But as soon as I started uploading the images, folks were like, can I host this there? Can I host that there? And I had to develop like workflows to understand how to deal with each customer journey. Then I understood that just like Peerspace, which is funny because I had it before Peerspace already had it, but I developed the business model, right? Like, you have different rental pricing for photo studios. You have different rental pricing for social events. These are events, pop-up shops, networking events that are welcoming the public. Yeah. And then you also have the private events. Those are the baby showers and the bridal showers and the birthday parties. Those are the more involved. You're going to have to like move a lot of stuff out of the way, clean things up, and make sure that they're super comfortable. So there's different rental rates for all three. Had to develop like the processes for all three, and then iterate. Then it was just a lot of iteration. Can we curse on here?
Yeah. Yo, talk your thing.
There was a lot of fucking iteration, bro. It was just nonstop, man. Woo, I'm still iterating till this day. I mean, as an entrepreneur, you know that's what you gotta do. You can't really sit in one pocket for too long. Yeah. You gotta try some things out. So, yeah.
No, I love the hustle, man. I love the hustle. I love the grind. All right, so you're in the thick of it. You starting to make your bread. Like, what then happened and changed and said, yo, I'm about to pivot and do something else? Because the same way how you were shooting weddings and shooting stuff like that, you hit a pivot. Like, what was your pivot moment?
I think all the headaches, like the money's good, but it's not, you can't do anything just for the money. Right? Like, sure, we need it at the end of the day, but if you're making a decent amount of money here, but it's giving you a ton of headaches, but you find something else that like you actually truly love to do and it's not giving you any headaches, which one would you go with? I think that's really what it boils down for me, right? Like, the studio is beautiful. The opportunities that have come out of there are worth more than money, more than any dollar I've made from the studio. The opportunities, the relationships that have come out of that space have pretty much changed my life, essentially. Like, it's just been amazing. But at the end of the day, like, I don't even party, bro. I'm not a party person. I don't go to clubs. I don't go out like that. I go out to a restaurant. Me and my son just went out to eat, but I don't go and do any of that stuff. So I'm hosting events for folks for something that I personally don't even do. Now, I provide, the reviews say it all. I provide the experience. I provide the customer service. I provide that service that they're looking for, and I think we're one of the best at it right now. But it's the me having to get in there, people leaving late, people violating your rules, people lying to your face, people scheduling tours and not showing up, And you imagine all the iterations I've done to lower all these headaches, and they still happen till this day. It's a little unbelievable. And this is not a knock to all of my customers, all my clients that have done amazing, that have treated me like royalty, just like I treated them like royalty. Like, not a knock to any of the good folks that I've worked with. However, like, there's just a lot of other headaches that come
when
with
you
it.
deal with a lot of people, you're gonna have
People
you
are
know,
going
it's
to
kinda,
people.
Yeah,
it's gonna be-
yeah, 100%,
it's gonna say,
100%.
I learned it was the cost of doing business.
Yes.
Like, dealing with
Yes.
you know, you're gonna deal with the
Yes.
amazing customer, and then you're gonna have a customer that's like, yo, I should have saw like, where was the red flag? Like,
Yeah, 100%.
so for me, I'm a photographer, photo booth owner. My kids come with me a lot. Like, they're here a lot. They're at, like, my son. I got a son who's 17. He's worked weddings with me. He's worked huge events with me.
Love that.
Really considering. I mean, I just want to give him the photo booth business. Honestly, how have you like? Does your son see a lot of your business stuff, or is he?
Yeah.
Like, so how do you feel like he takes some of the, interaction, and do you think he kind of takes something from it, or is like there a point for you to bring him along?
There is a point, and for the audience watching, my son is literally sitting over there in the corner. But it's a sweet balance, because, like, for us entrepreneurs, if you're always on the clock, it's also, like, very difficult to turn that off. So I've made it a very point, even this last year and part of this year, to lower that work-life integration, because that's how I like to call it. Like, there's no balance here. You integrate them. That's why you bring him along, so that he can see, like, we're not just over here wasting time. We're
not just
actually
talking.
we're building.
It's something, we're building relationships.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I like it because they're seeing adults converse. They're seeing communication that they may
100%.
not get at school. Like,
Yeah.
my kids are in a public school. Like, they're seeing the teacher that, is saying they don't have enough money. They're like, I've heard some crazy stories. I have a son in 5th grade, and I hear different, I mean, even just sitting in on, like, they'll have American Education Week, and you'll have the ability, the free time to get in there and watch what's going on. And so that's the big point for me. Like, I like them to see entrepreneurship, I guess.
I think that's the coolest thing. Like, after the grand opening, we went to Chili's. Shout out to Chili's. I always like going to Chili's with our daughter, and her teacher was there. And they were like, "Oh, you guys are dressed up nice. Like, where you coming from?" And it was like, "Oh, like, yeah, my family opened up a studio in Bel Air." And, like, it just hit me. It's like, dang, yo, like we're that family who has a business in Harford County where there's nobody else. Like, and this is nothing against, all our supporters and things of that nature, but, like, it's real. Like, representation matters.
Yes.
And being able to take that step forward and show somebody, like, yo, like, you can do it. Like, yo, you can fill out the SBA loan. Shout out to Kim Austin and Will over at M&T, like, walking us through the process and things of that nature. Like, yo, you can do all these things. But sometimes, like, we have to be, like, the first step, because Kev will tell you, like, about a year ago, I didn't want a studio. Like, it sounds like I still don't.
Both of us.
Yeah,
both of us really, like, we weren't like, I know I wasn't considering having a
Facts.
space. A couple months prior, I was looking into doing a selfie museum. Like,
Okay.
it's a different backdrop, different setting, like a couple every, like, 8 to 10 feet. Like,
Yes.
I wanted something like that. Just really like, there's, like, not that fun thing anymore. We just had a movie theater closed down. We don't really roller skate anymore. I wanted something for, like, the teens and young adults to be able to do. Okay, we just had a basketball game.
Yeah.
After that, or we had a football game, like, something to
Go to
do.
the selfie museum after, yeah.
And that kind of fell through. But once that was messed up, I was kind of like, man, it's just kind of back to photography and whatever happened. So this is just kind of like a surprising blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very important that our children see us in action, and I think it's for different reasons. For me, I'm doing it so that he could see some balance in, like like he loves video games right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's on YouTube Shorts right now. And I think that like and the conversations I've been having with him the last few weeks have been about balance. It's like, look, there's a time to do the things that we should do. There's a time to do the things that we don't want to do, but we have to do. And then there's a time to do the things that we have to do. And then like in between all those things, you can still have all your fun, but like you know, there's still a future to work towards, and there's still goals that you have to hit, and there's still, you know, there's so many facets of life, and I think for me that's important to bring him along to see all of that. So tomorrow I'm going to give him the option. I'm a founding member of Entrepreneurs DMV, which is a networking event, takes place once a month. Tomorrow's going to be at Guilford Hall Brewery. And I'm gonna give him the option to come along and see us in action, or he can sit back with his grandma. But I'll give him the option, like, hey, what do you want to do? So,
Okay. So an event like that, what is the point? I don't know if I've been.
Entrepreneurs DMV, this is our third one.
Okay.
The first two were hosted in my studio, but it's gotten very much larger now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to a brewery, but it's by Lena. Lena actually put it all together, brought the idea. I said, hey, I have the space, come on, let's do it. But essentially it's a guided networking experience. So instead of you going to the typical networking event where like if you don't know how to network, you're kind of just standing in the corner like, what do I do now? And you might go up to somebody and talk to one person. This is a guided networking experience. So she's the host. She has surprises every single time, but you're literally guaranteed to walk out of there knowing 7 people at minimum.
Nice.
She's gonna guide you through these processes. There's group activities, there's one-on-one activities, and you have to switch every so often to different activities. And I think she's put together a great program, so it's coming along pretty nice.
That's super
Yeah.
dope. That's super dope.
Yeah.
Super dope. So switching gears, you know, how having a space and being an entrepreneur sometimes is difficult to get out and be intentional. How do you go about intentionally building your network with individuals who others may say like, oh, that's your competition? Like why would you be cool with them? Like why would you work with them?
I think that when I first moved to Baltimore in 2009, I was making hip hop music in New York. I came over here and I was like, well, I want to make music, like who got a studio, whatever. And then I ended up at Hand Talk Studios, which is Hand Talk Barbershop. And then right above it, they had a recording studio. So I became a barber shortly thereafter. So it's just wild. But I was in the studio with them all the time, and this is my introduction to Baltimore. Like I didn't know Baltimore. I have a lot of family here, but we visited every so often for a weekend, so I didn't get to understand the culture too well. So what I understood literally in that first year was that Baltimore had this like mentality where like they don't really want to see one individual shine, everybody can break down, etc. I don't believe that to be true anymore at all, because there's a lot of great people here and a lot of people that just want to help each other. But ultimately, like, how would I not go and make friends with the competition? We don't serve the same audiences, and everyone else has a different audience. So it's like, why don't we? How we could get so much further if we work together. Like, I just don't see a reason why we should not. Like, it almost makes no sense. Let's make money together. How about that? Like, that's the type of time I'm on.
A lot of people are late to the party that someone like that person's success doesn't hinder your own. Like it
I think
always
so.
feels like there's a scarcity of people that need the same service. And
Yeah.
it like took me a long time to realize that. Like
When I was starting out as a photographer, like we would yo, don't tell nobody about this spot I found.
yeah,
I've
never done.
Gatekeeping? Gatekeeping?
It was just like,
the
wait,
thing is,
what?
like, I've never done that because I've always felt like
Yeah.
he still got to do him.
He still got to
Like,
put in the
Still gotta show
'cause,
up.
Like the photographer that I learned from, me and him could shoot at the same location at the same time, and it
Yeah,
would
completely
not
different
look
results.
the same.
100%.
Especially just experience, but like you have your favorite kind of composition, and
Yeah.
what you're looking for. So definitely with the photography, a portrait photography easily is like everybody got to do their thing in that.
Yeah.
But yes, it took me a minute to,
Yeah.
even, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, all right, we're having another studio owner in here. What, I'm like, what's the benefit? Like, where is the conversation gonna go? And
That's fair.
I'm very happy
I appreciate that.
You
I appreciate
came
that.
through. 'Cause,
Man, as soon as I saw y'all post the link, I'm like, no, I'm in.
yeah,
So-
I literally signed up
I
a
was
few
gonna say-
minutes after.
No, I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah.
So why though? What was your thought? Your thought was
I'm from Brooklyn. We show love is the Brooklyn way. Period.
Yep,
we
yep,
show love.
yep,
Like
yep.
this. I don't think people have anybody. My record is clean. If you go anybody like, yo, Willis ever been? No.
Nope.
I'm
Nope.
supporting everyone
He's
from day
solid.
one.
Yo,
it's just like that's
Willis
it.
is as solid as they come.
Thank
man.
you.
The
Thank
first,
you.
First story of how I knew Willis was solid. Well, one, our boy Juan like hit me up. I still remember it. I'm teaching, and something happened. Something was going on or whatever. And you had some kind of shoot or whatever.
I needed a lens.
and,
I think.
and you needed a lens.
needed a lens. I needed
and
a wide
Juan
angle.
Juan was like, yo, my boy Willis needs some boom boom. I said, say less. I met you. You show like some people borrow something. Nah, like yo, he made sure to show love.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And then from there on, like just constantly just dropping gems and just always being authentic and stuff like that.
Appreciate that.
So like like even today, like when people talk about like photography, like and stuff like that. One, I really don't look at nobody like as competition because every like what's for you is for you. Second,
Yes.
like even if you look at like genres, right? Like Willis also is in like the real estate like lane, right? I don't even think we've even shot the same clients or same client properties or whatever. And like in the
Pretty
same
sure we
like
both
metro area.
super busy anyway.
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
Like, it's
That's what I'm
just-
saying. Like, so when people, and that's something else, like in this small business Saturday, I'm hoping people pick up. Like, yo, like what is for you too. Nobody can create your sauce. Like, so instead of worrying about like what somebody else is doing, or are they gonna take this, like, yo, I know for a fact, if nothing else, that people love the Austin sauce. They love what they're going to get, right? They love it.
Whoa.
Well, that's gonna be a bad take, but no. But no, like what I'm bringing, the energy, my thought process, the final product delivery, like yo, people love and appreciate that, and I thank y'all for that. So for somebody who needs to see this, like, don't worry about if it's another baker in your area. Don't worry about another hairstylist in your salon suite. Like it doesn't matter. Like you really
Yeah,
can create
doesn't.
your own lane.
As far as music though, because it's heavy with that. Like,
It is.
So
it's because it's ego based, and it's who's nicer and
I was gonna
who-
say, can you could speak on that like briefly? Like
I don't make music anymore,
Right.
and if you Google me, you won't find any. So I'm gonna keep it that way. It's just you just won't be able to. But in what I realized about music later on is I'm going through like meditation and healing process and therapy. It's like, oh snap, like all these rappers really have stuff that they're really going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through some stuff when I had to put my words together, and we're just like letting out emotions.
Yeah.
And it's like, whose emotions are stronger? Ultimately, like if I could sum it up in one sentence, it's like, whose emotions are stronger? It's yours or mine?
no,
And
I like that.
and
I like
unfortunately, like that leads down the road because it's just so much emotion, and obviously, it's really personal, and then people just they take it to another level. But in music, I think the music scene in Baltimore could get so much further. Obviously, if people just collaborate, anybody can get so much further if we just collaborated. I did an entire campaign for the studio. We reached out to other event spaces, period, and we're like, look, we only host 50 folks. There's over 290 rental spaces within a 25-mile radius of Baltimore City. So, like, it's either like one of us is gonna eat. It might not be me, but it might be you.
Yeah, right.
Let's just like what happens when the customer reaches out to me and I can't serve them? Do I just send them back out into the void?
No.
Or do I have a referral partner that I can now send them to? It only makes sense. It only made more sense to me. Like now we're gonna deepen up a relationship between each other that can go so much further. So whether it's music or whether it's like business, I think collaboration is just the super key.
And that's another Willis moment. You just reminded me. Willis couldn't do a live stream thing or don't do live stream.
That don't,
Yo, I've gotten like 2 or 3 gigs. People say, yeah, Willis recommended you. You already say you're taken care of. Like, here are the details. Just tell us what to do and blah, blah, blah. And then like just having that network and those partners and somebody like seeing you and believing like, yo, that means a lot. I know I told you before, but yo, I really appreciate,
I appreciate you,
for
bro.
like just being
Yeah,
just
for sure.
authentic, right? Because like money comes and goes, but like really having somebody who is really authentic and real, like that's what's
what
so
we do it
valuable,
for, man.
bro.
Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. Cause I had a wedding couple. They were trying to get their stuff live streamed. I told them figure it out for themselves. Cause I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't know who did it.
Right.
Now there was some other stuff with this situation, but yeah, I didn't know where to turn, like who could do it. So they definitely got sent back out there
Into the void,
into the void. But I mean, now I know.
Now you
know. Now I
Now you know
know.
Hartford
Now you know.
Haven. Hartford
Yeah.
Haven now has the ability to live stream.
Yeah.
But something that I want to circle back on with another Monday. Talk to us a little bit about SEO. I know that we are going to be booking you to do a course with us this spring on
Can't
SEO.
wait to do a workshop on it,
And
yeah.
talk to us a little bit about SEO for people who don't know, like, and go like dumb it down on
Gotcha.
what it is, why it's important, why we don't only focus on social media marketing and just posting on Facebook and like, dang, nobody liked my post. I'm not getting them. So talk a little about SEO.
SEO is like everything that you do on the internet has words. Okay, so for all able-bodied folks who are able to just like, you're able to go anywhere on the internet. You're able to like, even for folks who cannot see, they will be able to read the text on the thing. Everything has text, period. Like once you understand that everything has text, now it's how do you use the text properly, which goes into copywriting, which goes into blogs, which goes into articles, which goes to every word that's on your website. How do you formulate a strategy to have the right words on the site so that you're showing up in search results? That's literally what SEO is. It gets it gets a lot more technical than what I just explained, but essentially there's words on everything. How do you use the right words to attract your ideal client? That's what SEO is, and that's what I've gotten pretty good at. Like,
Really good at. Really good. Not pretty good. He's really good at it.
we just figured out a way to like use a few different tools to help us craft the right message. Copywriting goes into that. For me, marketing, I've actually been doing it for a long time. I've been doing marketing before photography. I just didn't know I was doing it.
Okay.
It's like photography. I was doing photography since like 2004. I have a photo of my mom taking a photo of me shooting something with my phone, well, flip phone at that.
Yeah.
I was just documenting life. I just didn't know that that's what I was doing. So for a lot of like, especially when I got to Baltimore 15 years ago, I was in the barbershop and I was like, how do we get more clients? And then you just start thinking about those questions. You come up with answers to them. We're like, what if we hosted a block party? Or what if we like left flyers on the cars in front of the supermarket? Or like those type of things. I didn't know that was actually guerrilla marketing. Right. It was marketing nonetheless. I just didn't know that's what I was doing. So SEO is that. I was doing copywriting. I love design. I love like putting those type of things together. And now I get to sort of do all of that in one. And it's super fun. It's still super creative. Because copywriting, I can't do copywriting unless I'm in the right headspace for it. So like I gotta use my brain very early in the morning, super fresh, to like come up with good copy, because this copy is gonna help convince that person in 5 words or less that they need your service or not. And then obviously then you have to really formulate the rest of your site to attract and convert people. I love the story brand, by the way. Are you familiar?
The story blocks?
Story brand method. The story brand method is the method of using stories to convey your message to your audience.
Apple does that very well.
Yeah, and then there's a book called The Story Brand Method, so I highly recommend it. And it literally breaks down how do you take, because when you go on a website, it's literally just this vertical thing, right? Like whether you're on a landscape screen, but like you're either scrolling up or you're scrolling down, that's all you got. So how do you tell the story from the header all the way down? And you tell a story, a visual story and a written story, without actually telling a story, to guide that person through your entire site, increasing your engagement rate on the site, increasing like your click-through rates and all that good stuff. So I combine SEO, copy, and story brand method all into one to help folks get more clients.
There you go. Listen, hopefully you out here writing that down. You didn't click off yet because you just dropped another gem.
So was there a specific moment where you were like, hold on, nah, I'm good. I got this.
when the studio started ranking, and we're ranking for 600 plus keywords right now, and I started to figure out, wait, more? I can rank for more keywords, and like you can rank one page for more than just like ideally for those who don't know SEO, like you have to like pick one main keyword that folks are already typing in. So you got to do keyword research before you find that. Once you do keyword research, you're like, oh, this one keyword, I'll dedicate this page to this one keyword. However, when you start ranking for that one, you start ranking for like a tree of words surrounding that one word. So now you start ranking for even more stuff down the line. And when the studio started just getting leads organically, I actually have the Squarespace. I build all my sites on Squarespace. I'm a Squarespace pro. I would love to work with people who want to switch from Wix and all those sites.
My site is Squarespace, so I might need to holler at you.
But essentially, I have the Squarespace widget on my phone screen. I literally look at it every day. I see how much traffic I'm getting organically. When there's a spike, I'm like, yo, what happened? Bam. Oh, and then you can just start tweaking. It's just funny. So back before the internet, you had to pay $20,000 to run an ad in a newspaper, in a magazine, or whatever. You don't have traction. You don't know how many people saw it. You don't know anything.
YouTube is right there too. All the ads that people did is on our backdrop right over there.
The ads are right there, but you can't track that. Right now, you can run a campaign for 2 days and know if it's working. So you don't have to waste your time anymore. Especially when it comes to like actually paid advertisement versus SEO just takes 6 to 12 months to actually really kick in. But paid advertisement with $20, you could really like learn a lot immediately. Right. You don't got to run advertisement for that long to like get your results.
Facts.
Yeah.
So, all right, now we're in the part of the segment that we like to call rapid fire, right? So we're going to ask you a series of questions, this or that format, and you just have to respond with your natural response. Can't overthink it, all right? You ready?
Let's go.
All right, bet. All right. Black and white photography or full color?
Full color.
Natural light or studio lighting?
Studio lighting.
Candid or posed portraits?
Candid all day.
Film or digital?
Digital.
DSLR or mirrorless?
Mirrorless.
Prime or zoom?
Crap.
Ooh.
That's a tough one, bro. It's rapid fire.
It's
Yes,
tough.
sir.
It's
I'm
tough.
sorry.
Most of mine's are primes, but I do have one zoom, and that one probably stays on my camera the most. I'm gonna
What
say
is it?
the 24 to 70 2.8 Sigma.
That's your favorite
Hey,
go-to?
bro, the amount of weddings, events I've shot with that thing has made his money back over multiple times, and it just does it.
What's your favorite, Kev? I'm gonna keep going. What's your favorite?
I mean,
your favorite
so
lens?
I didn't have a zoom lens until November. I just did a little review video on my 70 to 200.
Okay.
I love it.
I just rented
Oh, yeah,
one.
he went G Master too. He got money. Like that's my inspiration right there.
Nah, the guy that I ran into, he said you gonna make it was a sports photographer. I was at a football game and I was like, yo, how you like that? He was like, if you're considering
it's so
getting it,
good.
he said
so
you gonna
good.
make your money back
Yeah.
so fast. You know what you're doing. And it's been lovely for portraits, for events,
Weddings,
for
everything.
sport, like everything that I've shot, I've enjoyed using it.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to go prime because I fell in love with prime, but I had to shout out the zooms too because we use them as well. So
My favorite, the Tamron 35 to 150.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground.
To 2.8.
ooh, shouts to Pelinguino. My boy loves that lens.
Yo,
yeah.
man, that's my baby. That's my
Yeah.
baby. But I have shot a full wedding, and I try to get creative. Like if it's a more budget friendly wedding, I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna give them a little sauce and go prime. And I shot a whole wedding like with a prime. I think I shot it with a 35 or a 50, like whole wedding or whatever. And it was a
Same
dope
lens, you
story.
didn't switch?
Same lens.
Okay.
Same lens. Because I'm like, yo, I'm going to challenge myself. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's more budget friendly doesn't mean you're going to get any lower of a, service. Like, I'm just going to be more creative and, you know what I mean? So, but I'm still going 35 to 150.
Zoom.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at? Street, landscape, or studio photography?
Studio, because studio pays.
Get paid, young
I love
And
nigga,
that's why I
get
never did
paid.
landscape. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't never had a mountain pay me. Now, I'm sure people were buying prints. I know people
Yo.
were buying prints. I know people were buying prints. But I've never had an eagle send me bread.
Yo,
Like,
I hope Kendrick not watching this because he on.
I have a
like, no,
catalog
no.
of street,
okay.
a catalog, and I mean, it may never see the light of day. It was for me.
Yeah, it's art.
It
for
was
you at the end
more
of the
art
day,
for
yeah.
me, yeah, but it didn't pay the bills and it didn't help me get here, but I love it. Love it. If money was never a question and I never needed it, I would probably travel the world and shoot street.
That's tough.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Auto or manual focus?
Auto. The cameras are just too good. Sony's are just too good.
Lightroom, Capture One, or Photoshop?
Lightroom.
Print or digital?
I suggest everyone prints. I'm gonna go with print. I think that everyone should print out these photos. If you made any investment on a photographer for whatever event or portrait or a baby shower or a headshot, like print them. Like you already invested the money, print them with the photographer because the photographer is gonna know exactly where to get the right paper, where to get the right print from. That's gonna last a lifetime. What type of frame to put it in. They should know all that information. And also, you're supporting a small business when you go and print with a photographer. So, period. You should just print more often.
Print more often. That's,
Don't keep your, like, everybody got 10,000 photos on their phone that they never gonna look at again. But if you print it and you put it on the wall and it's in your entrance of your house and it's your family member smiling, it's automatically gonna just brighten up the entire space. So I suggest people print.
Facts. All right, so as we begin to wind down, what are 3 things that you want followers to walk away with after watching this episode?
Collaboration over competition every day, period. The amount of growth in the network just in the last year, period, just from that alone is gonna pay dividends for a lifetime, like that deep. So that's one. 2, every entrepreneur is you're your own accountant. You're your own. Look, no, because some people, and I love people's hearts. Some people just think that like, hey, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur. I'm gonna sell this thing for this, and then I'm gonna like pocket all that money. But like, it's so much deeper than that. Like, you have to be your own accountant. You have to be your own marketer. You have to be your own like social media manager. You have to be your own website building. You have to. There's so many skills and hats that you have to wear. I just want folks to like really be clear that when you embark on this journey, like you're gonna have to be all the things, and don't skimp out on none of them.
None.
I think you shouldn't until you have some money to outsource, and you should definitely outsource pretty quickly. I'll have a conversation with you guys about VAs and how awesome mine is and how she's changed my life. So, but yeah.
I have a VA, but I might be like shopping around. So yeah, we need to definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
And
Mine's
I've
is,
never had one, so I think
she's
I
never
need
taken
to-
a
I
day
need-
off in over a year. Monday through
So then
Friday.
we probably can't use yours then, huh?
No, not mine directly, because she works business hours Monday through Friday. But she's absolutely excellent. I sing her praise whenever I get an opportunity to. She works for an agency, so if you are looking for one, look for an agency first, because there's a management aspect to the agency.
Yeah.
So we can get into VAs and all that good stuff later, but lifesaver, bro, lifesaver. I don't have to manage the business. I don't have to manage the studio business Monday through Friday because she's on it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I'm noticing a trend with photographers, and especially just I guess people that we've had on the show.
Yeah.
You have mad talent. Like, not just one talent. Not that you're good at one thing. Not just like you're great at one thing, then you great at another thing. Like, so how is it like not staying in that box? Like, and I even asked the question like, how did you choose? Like, was it a money thing, or like, because what I'm finding out is that musician can also make people laugh. They also have a creative eye. They know how they want their music video to look, or like to the point where they can write it up. So then you're getting into something else that they're good at. So what's your thought on like just having mad talent?
I appreciate that. I honestly, it's a gift for me personal. Like, this is wild personal, but I think it's a gift and a curse, because like I sometimes envy the folks that could just do one thing and do that one thing and be like number one in that one thing. But it's just not the way I was wired. I think I had like ADD or ADHD coming up, and I just learned how to hone that in. But the process has been very painful to find those things. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life till very recently. Like I just tried and tried and tried and tried. I am a seeker. I will forever be a lifelong learner, but seeking, and that's something that I teach my son as well. It's like, seek until you find. And then when you find, do you want it? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? And then like continue seeking. Obviously, all within good measure, right? And good faith, right? You have to do things the right way. But yeah, it was very painful, bro. Because like you'll go through these phases where like you feel wow behind because you spent so much time learning, 17 different things, and then later on, those 17 different things might come into play again, but you spent all this time over here when you could have just went straight, right? Which is where mentors and coaches really come into play and really can help you circumvent and save so much time and energy. If you find a good mentor and coach early on in life, I didn't, so it's like I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out, but I appreciate that. I think it's also the part of the iteration for me, right? Like, it's fun. It's fun to learn. It's fun to explore. It's fun to like figure these things out. And I've been having so much fun with business, period. Like I was on the board until very recently on the local Dundalk Chamber of Commerce. Cool. So I was with a lot of the local businesses there, networking of always, then growing my business and seeing other people growing theirs. And then just always having business conversations, and like your business knowledge just continues to grow, and you understand like this is just a cool ass game. Whether it is photography that you're playing, whether it's videos, whether it's web design, whatever it is, like you're playing a game, and you want to win.
Yeah.
Without knocking anybody else down, you want to win. So like, how do you win? How do you create? How do you productize? How do you make the most margin while still providing A1 service? Like, how do you do all those? It's so fun. Like, how do I develop a customer journey that when my customers are just like, yo, I love this.
Dang, you care about your customers?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Those 5-star reviews, man. Yeah. We earned every single one of them, and yeah. I don't know what y'all Google my business is looking like, but don't get me started on that. But y'all need to like literally everyone who walks through that door needs to leave a review, but they need to want to leave a review. And then they also need to leave a 5-star review, a detail with photos and images.
Facts.
So I mean, I guess you're gonna close out in a sec, but I appreciate having you here so much. Like,
yeah, love.
I feel like it's like literally sent from God. Like from the time you started talking,
oh man,
from the time you walked in, because I'm like, yo, he looked good too. Like I could take something from him.
My brother.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you for your number and all that.
Is that low? Okay.
Yeah.
No, Megan. Hopefully, Megan.
He's been holding on to the number for too long, bro. He didn't give it.
I mean, like I didn't know you existed. Like, so I have like event space like aspirations.
Okay.
So like I met Neo in Atlanta
Oh,
at Invest
snap.
Fest.
Okay.
Like, so all the stuff that you're saying, I'm like, I have to like, like I sent him the link like I think it was Sunday.
Sunday, he sent me the link like, yo, watch this.
Yeah, it's like his workshop, like his weekly thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just everything that you've been talking about, like I appreciate it.
I'm from the
Thank
culture,
you.
baby. Like I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born in this country, so like I came out with the mentality of like I gotta go get it. Like my parents barely knew how to read when they came here, so it's like and I'm the oldest of 4 boys. So the hunger and the hustle, like that shit comes from deeply rooted, like grew up in the projects. Like I didn't come this far to only come this far, right? Like we got a long way to go, and I'm not going there alone. And my team knows it. Just ask anybody on my team, like, yo, you eat? Yeah, 100%. Everybody eat. Everybody eat. We all eat together. Right. And that's how I want to keep it. I never want to sit at the table with myself.
Oh yeah, ain't no fun. Ain't no fun. Your friends ain't getting
100%.
So Willis, I want to thank you for joining us today for Small Business Sundays.
Yes.
And if you are a small business owner, wait, before we do that, Willis, tell people where to find you.
Willis Aybar on Instagram, and then that links to everything. That links to everything else I got going on. The real estate joint. I am dissolving my photography business this year. I'm going straight into marketing. So Another Monday, if you just Google Another Monday or Willis Aybar, you'll find everything.
Right, it should pop up easy because
Because he works on his SEO.
right.
Yeah, and then Studio 87 is located in Dundalk as well. We're literally the #1 rated space in Baltimore.
For a few more months, though. So if you're looking to
Yes.
host an event, make sure you go to Studio 87. Beautiful aesthetics. A lot of the time and attention was placed in there. So thank you for that. And if you're a small business owner looking to have your business highlighted and championed, make sure you fill out the inquiry on the Harvard Haven website. We would love to sit down and talk with you and see how to benefit others. Until then.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.